أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبحان الله وبحمده عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي ربنا زدنا علما. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome all of you to Quest, my online and on-site sisters and students. It is an absolute pleasure to have you here. Good of you to come. And I hope you are as excited as I am, because what we will be sharing in this module is the most influential subject known to mankind. And the content of this is of absolute importance to all of us in our daily lives, in our time to come, and obviously in the hereafter. And that is what we'll be doing today. But before we start, I have a short story to share with you. This story is about a girl who was born, and she had to face a few hardships as a child, which led her to have some emotional issues, which finally led her to have some childhood issues. Reading, still, when you have emotional issues, then they lead you to some physical illnesses. And this child grew up because of the unresolved emotions in her childhood years. She obviously had teenage issues. The teenage issues led to older age issues, and she dreamed of marrying a Prince Charming and then hoping that ek dafa shaadi ho jayegi and then everything will be fine. But obviously reality hits, and it was not a happy ever after. She gets married, and because of all the baggage that she has been carrying all these years, she is not able to understand how tough it is to be in a relationship with someone, and that leads to marital issues. She has kids. And because she's not 100% herself, she's not able to give her kids 100%, right? So one thing on top of the other leads to stress, anxiety, marital issues, in-laws, parents, actually all issues around all relationships, right? To a point where these psychological, these emotions not dealt with, unsolved, unknown, some of them, they lead to a lot of physical issues such as anxiety, stress. You go and talk to someone and they usually ignore it. We come to how it's usually dealt with, and then you get on to happy pills. But just to cut it short, because we don't have much time, I'm actually putting 40 years in 4 minutes for you here. Obviously I can't do justice. She finds light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, she ends up with the Quran, and in the light of the Quran, she's able to understand her purpose. Okay, she's able to untangle all these knots, all these things that were chaining her down. And she's able to slowly and gradually, because katra katra ban ke samandar banta hai, she's able to handle herself first, her relationship with Allah, her personal issues, and then they sort of water down to her children, to her husband, to her friends, to her parents, and she is able to, mujhe nahi pata ki whether all her problems were gone, but at least she was able to deal with them in a better way. And this is one success story. So my beloved sisters and students, welcome to Heart Talk. The good news here is that we will be sharing, we will be dealing and venturing through such emotions that lead us, all of us, and we all, none of us, हम में से कोई भी ऐसा नहीं है जो ये guarantee कर सके कि हमारी जिंदगी में कोई issues नहीं है. We are totally pain free and we have no problems. हमारे सारे relationships perfect हैं. We are all suffering. Some of us come थोड़ा ज़्यादा, some of us a lot. Some of us have new challenges, and some of us are really struggling. Right? So in this module, inshallah, we will be trying to touch on all these unresolved emotions through the help of the Quran and the Hadith and science. And inshallah, I guarantee each one of you that you will take some sort of khair with you at the end of this module. And that is the minimum, okay? That is the minimum that you take. The maximum, the sky is the limit. But that will depend on how regular you are, number one, in your classes, how attentive you are with your note taking, right? Because the thing is, this class is going to be very different from whatever you've ever experienced in any class. Most of it will be, we will do this, we will discuss issues in class, but you will go home and you will do them practically. And your success will determine how well you are able to exercise them at home. And inshallah, your own feedback that you will give me will be your yardstick on where you are from where you started, right? So, inshallah, let's get started with what actually Heart Talk is about. Why are we even interested in this module? How will it benefit you? और ये Heart Talk actually है क्या चीज़? If only I can go to the next slide. Okay. Well, we'll try and get to the next slide. But before that, let me tell you that Heart Talk is usually, when we compare, this was a question mark, done this, what is Heart Talk? Usually what happens is when we are sick, right, when there is physical illness, aapko khansi, nazla, zukam, bukhar hota hai, you go to a doctor. And the doctor says, कि अच्छा, ये problem है, आपको ये दवा मिलेगी, and then you find yourself that you're fine, right? But on the other hand, if you have any other issues that are probably emotional or psychological, and you try and discuss them with someone you know, someone you trust, mother, your sister, your anyone close to you, your friends, so पहला क्या आपको जवाब आता है? What? तुम दीदी हो, how can you even think like that? Or सबर करो, or let it go. Why don't you busy yourself with something else? I think ऐसी तुम्हारा, this is just your imagination, this will soon pass. So what happens is that whatever that you're feeling at that point, it stays with you, right? It's bottled up. And bottling kar karke, eventually what does it lead you to being sick? How many of us have suffered anxiety, stress, panic attacks, eventually leading us to sugar issues, to heart issues, palpitations, depression, resentment, anger, irritability. These सारे issues जो हैं, these are because we have been going through something which was not addressed, or it was not given the importance that it was given. So basically, science says, this is science, that most illnesses today are because of the illness of the heart. Okay? So when we talk about physical versus spiritual, it is generally spiritual. That is, this is what science says, that a great percent of your spiritual illness, जो कि आपके दिल की वजह से है, is the way the state of your heart that leads you to physical illnesses, right? That's one important point. तो उसके लिए हमें दिल का डॉक्टर बनना होगा. Okay, I'm not going to give you a certificate for that. We will become sort of cardiac surgeons. We will be diagnosing the diseases, we'll be finding the cures, and we're moving on to a better state of what we are feeling then and there. And I will do this by making you understand that spiritual illness, जो होती है, outer purity cannot be reached without, inner purity. इस क्लास का basically जो मेरा crux होगा ना, the one thing that we'll be focusing on is inner purification, and this will eventually lead to outer purification. And this is one of the why is this important? क्योंकि हज़रत इब्राहिम अलैहिस्सलाम की एक दुआ थी सूरह शोरा में, when he said that the day when your sons and your wealth will not benefit you, يوم لا ينفع مال ولا بنون إلا من أتى الله بقلب سليم, except for the one that brings forth a sound heart. This is a very, very important thing. If अगर हम अपनी जिंदगी में when we die, जो हमारा state of heart होता है, we take it with us. चाहे उसमें अगर आपका हसद भरा हो, एंगर भरा हो, रिजेंटमेंट भरी हो, नेगेटिविटी भरी हो, हेट्रेड भरा हो, बुरा गुमान हो अल्लाह के बारे में या लोगों के बारे में, you have not forgiven people, whatever baggage you're carrying, that's all frozen. And then you will wake up with that state of heart. So if I ask you, do any of us want to wake up with that state of heart? We don't want to present that heart in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is what we really need to work on. That is a sound heart. So this is going to be our goal, the qalb salim, the sound heart. So actually I wanted to show you this. If I can have this for my online students as well. This I wanted to show you a practical demonstration of actually how are we going to achieve this concept of a sound heart. And I want to show you this through a practical demonstration. I can just move myself here. This, as you can see, is a pot, right? And this will sort of, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ने कुरान में एक मोमिन की मिसाल किससे दी है? दरख्त से दी है, right? So हम ये देखेंगे कि दरख्त की मिसाल एक मोमिन से, और how does it relate to what I am trying to achieve here? What am I trying to get at? The importance. अब देखिए, अगर एक माली आपको आके कहता है बाजी ये पौधा जो है ये सही नहीं पड़ रहा, राइट? सो यू गोइंग टू सी कि इसका एनवायरनमेंट कैसा है, इसको सही सनशाइन मिल रही है, इसको सही पानी मिल रहा है, या इसका सॉइल शायद थोड़ा सा गंदा है, राइट? सो मे बी वी नीड टू चेंज द सॉइल एंड वी नीड टू सी दैट एक्चुअली हाउ द रूट्स आर डूइंग. नाउ इफ आई स्टार्ट स्टैबिंग ऑन दिस, इट्स नॉट द वे, राइट? बहुत सॉफ्टली, बहुत जेंटली, बहुत अच्छे से. वी डोंट वांट टू डैमेज द प्लांट, सो वी आर गोइंग टू फर्स्ट उसकी जमीन जो सख्त है उसको क्या करता है गार्डनर? बताए ना क्या करता है? यस, उसको सॉफ्ट करता है, राइट? टू मेक इट सॉफ्ट. एंड यू जस्ट कीप डिगिंग. दिस इज हार्डर देन आई थॉट एक्चुअली. Yes, this is a lesson to learn. This is actually when you start practically doing things, it's harder. I should practice this at home. So this, you see that, this you see, right? This is what we want to understand. अगर रूट आपकी डिजीज है, अगर उसमें कीड़ा लगा हुआ है, तो आपका प्लांट नहीं बढ़ेगा. इंसान की मिसाल, हमारा जो रूट है, हदीस ये है कि इंसान की जो बॉडी है, उसमें फरमाया उसमें गोश्त का फ्लैश है, एक फ्लैश है, और अगर वो फ्लैश बीमार होगा तो आपकी पूरी बॉडी बीमार होगी, राइट? रीइंफोर्सिंग व्हाट आई जस्ट टोल्ड यू that our root is our heart. If your root is diseased, if your root is sick, we will not grow to bear the fruit. We will not be giving any leaves out, and we will not be any form of comfort to anybody around us, right? Everything around us will not be benefiting or prospering. तो इस क्लास में हम इंशाल्लाह ये करेंगे. ये जो प्रोसेस होता है that we will be going through, this is actually a science where you get a proper environment like this plant, right? You make sure you get like proper seating हो आपके पास. We do a formal study of it. This is an actual science. You have the proper environment, you have group support, you have your mentor support, you have your teacher support, you have your in charges, and you have yourself. Then आपके ऊपर बारिश होगी किस चीज़ की? अल्लाह की और कुरान की, अल्लाह के कलाम की और हदीस की, right? And then you will be able to become the plant, the shelter, the source of comfort and benefit those around you and yourself. So because bitter roots cannot bear sweet fruits. So this is going to be our aim. And we are going to become gardeners. What do gardeners do? गार्डनर्स फ्रूट थोड़ी उगाते हैं, वो तो खुद से उगता है, ठीक है ना? और गार्डनर क्या करते हैं, वो सीड जो होता है ना, बीज डाल देता है और फिर वो उसका ख्याल रखता है और उसको फिर फलने और फूलने देता है. सो वी आर ऑल गार्डनर्स of ourselves, and we will help ourselves. We will give it the right sunshine, the right light, the right environment, so that we can grow and we can prosper and we can reach our full potential, inshallah. Right? So is everyone with me? Can I see a raise of hands? Even the online students, I can see I want to see a raise of hands so that I know they are with me and they're not putting me on the speaker and doing some housework, right? So, iske liye to do all of this, we need to now understand, because you see, when you are doing something, you have to be very passionate about it, otherwise you don't feel the importance of it. So I just want to tell you some facts about the heart, कि why are we focusing so much about the heart? एक तो हदीस मैंने आपको बताई, दूसरा Quran says that the heart is actually a thinking organ. Science is very slow, and scientists are slowly and actually catching up on it. They're saying that the heart has a heart brain, okay, and it sends neurons to the brain actually. So the heart is a thinking organ. आपने कभी सोचा, हम कभी ऐसे कहते हैं memorize by brain. What do we say? Learn by heart. So the heart, and what do we say about, what else do we say? Have an open heart, right? No, actually we say have an open mind. But actually it is having an open heart that will lead you to having the open mind. So in this class, you will also be required to have an open heart and an open mind. We will come to that later on, how does one have an open heart. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ne bataya hame कि जन्नत has been prepared for his slaves, ऐसी जन्नत के जिसको किसी आँख ने देखा नहीं, no eye has ever seen, no ear has ever heard, and no heart has ever thought about. The question is, why did not Allah mention that no brain has ever thought about? Allah focused on the heart. So this shows that the heart does think. एक और हदीस ये है कि Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives all evil suggestions to man or based on two conditions, कि वो अपने मुंह से उस बात को कहेंगे नहीं और अपने हाथ से उस चीज को करेंगे नहीं. So that just shows that the heart also gives you suggestions, waswasing and all that. This is not coming from here, it's coming from here. Have you noticed people that smoke? I mean, it's just my observation. People that smoke, उस पे डब्बे पे लिखा होता है smoking kills and there are these very very scary pictures on it, but people still smoke. Logically, it's not good for you, right? But why don't people quit when they look at that? The brain tells them don't, but the heart, it makes them feel a certain way. That's why they're not able to quit, because it is the heart. It is the heart that drives you to do things. It is the heart, is the emotions that make you do things. So हमें जो काम करना है, the most neglected part I think हमारी bodies में, we all very focus, including myself, we really focus on how we look like, right? But the focus should be inside out. मेरी बहुत मुझे एक saying पसंद है, that if your thoughts were to become your skin, would you still be beautiful? This is a question we need to ask ourselves, and this is what we will be working on, right? So just to tell you a few other things, कि कुरान में इतनी आयत हैं दिल के ऊपर. अल्लाह ताला कहते हैं फी कुलूबिहिम मरद, that their hearts are diseased. They talk about hearts that are diseased. Allah says that Allah compares the heart to stones, कि they are as hard as stones, أو أشد قسوة, or even harder. So these are all analogies that Allah is giving about the heart. And you see, your ears for my online students and your eyes for my on-site students, these are the tunnels to your heart. Whatever you see, whatever you hear has an effect on the heart. So be very mindful कि आप क्या सुनते हैं, आप क्या देखते हैं. If you are around negativity, it will affect your heart. But if you are around positivity, it will affect your heart. Now you choose what do you want to be around, right? Do you want to be around negative people? Do you want to be around people that make you feel bad or make you feel in a certain way? You need to surround yourself with positive people to feel a certain way, right? This is just one take-home thing. जहाँ हम बात कर रहे थे दिमाग की, तो हज़रत अबू हुरैरा जो थे, सहाबी थे, he went to Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. ऐसे मैं हदीस भूल जाता हूँ. तो हुजूर sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he gathered a garment around his heart and he prayed for him. उसके बाद हज़रत अबू हुरैरा कभी कोई हदीस नहीं भूले. He did not take the garment and put it on his head. He put it on his heart, right? So just to reinforce that the heart has a memory and the heart thinks, it feels, it gives you suggestions, and it is a very important organ that controls all the organs of the body. It's just not a pumping organ. Most scientists believe it's just a pumping organ. The second important thing is that your physical illness will end with death, but your spiritual illness does not. It's eternal. So if anybody is suffering from any physical illnesses, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for all of us. But if someone is suffering spiritual illness, then they can really, this is something very serious. And this is usually क्योंकि हमें नजर नहीं आता ना. We are people who just want to, if we see something, that's fine. But this is intangible. But unfortunately, these spiritual illnesses, देखिए आपका दिल जो है ना, कहते हैं एक डोंगा है, देचकी है, और आपकी ज़बान जो है उसका चमचा है. Whatever you feel is whatever comes to your tongue. So you want to keep that dechki very clean, and so that when it comes out of your tongue, it's not ugly or it's not hurting people, right? So this is also something very important that we need to focus on. Quran में आप इंशाल्लाह you will learn this as you progress the Quran and the ayahs. I just bought Surah Shams and there are many ayahs among this. Surah Shams में Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ने qasmein खानी है, and you will inshallah learn that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swears on something, then it's something very serious, okay, something very big. You know how when you swear on something, that means it's something very big. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ने इसमें सबसे पहले I didn't put them down. सूरज की कसम खाई है, फिर अल्लाह ताला ने चांद की कसम खाई है. He swore by the day, he swore by the night, he swore by the skies, he swore by the earth, and then in the 7th ayah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says by the soul. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swears by the soul and the proportion and the order given to it. wa nafsim wa ma sawwaha. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala इसकी कसम खाते हैं. And فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا, and its enlightenment to it, यानी soul की जो enlightenment है, and it's right, यानी कि उसमें good भी है और bad भी. अल्लाह ताला ने दोनों डाले इसके अंदर. Then comes the main theme, right? Imagine on the 9th ayah, after all these swears, after सारी कसमें खाने के बाद, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us the gist that what is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stressing on. This is what it was. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا. Truly he succeeds that purifies it. What? The heart, the soul, they are connected, right? So this is success. How do we define success in the dunya? Kids go to KGS, they go to Harvard, they get good grades, you have a good house, your husband's doing well, status, money. This is all success, right? But in the dunya after this is not. Success is the one who purifies themselves. So this is of utmost importance, because if you want to succeed, if you are a good investor, you want to succeed something that is eternal, that will last. And this is what will last to a lifetime. The one who purifies themselves. So this is what happens for people who don't. That's the loser there. وَقَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا, and he feels that corrupts it. Those that ignore it will be the losers. And you know where the losers will end up. Right? Where will they end up? Everyone knows. So this is what I wanted to emphasize. कि इतनी important है ये purification of your heart and soul कि इसमें आपको, you will see the difference in your daily lives. You will see your difference in your relationships. You will see the difference in whatever you're doing now, in your future, and also you will take it with you to your grave and to eternity. That's how important this is. One other thing that I want to share with you, जो बहुत लोगों को पता नहीं है, they think they're very, it's a good thing that they're doing. This is actually farz. This is actually farz. Scholars say that purifying oneself is actually the farz of every individual. It's called fardh ayn. And this is farz on every individual to go through this exercise. Right? So that's how important this is. But before that, ये तो हो गया हमारी importance. Why is heart important? How will it help you? And all of that. But ये सब करने के लिए that we will be doing, inshallah, in the next classes, what are some of the pointers that we need to understand? Number one, be compassionate and show mercy. My question to you is, to who? Yes, good. Good, Salim. Yes. You, number one, if you are able to show mercy and compassion to yourself, is when you are able to do it for others. Right? So in this process, we have to show mercy and compassion to ourselves first, before. Or because sometimes it gets tough on us. We'll do this in detail. How does it become tough and what are we supposed to do? There is no such thing as perfectly good and there is no such thing as perfectly bad either. Okay? Number two is accept. Accept what? Accept that we have things to change. Right? We are doing anger in the next class. The funny thing is, the reason I chose it is because it was the first topic in the book that we will be doing it from the scholars. But I also asked people around, okay, what do you think is, one of my issues? And they said, well, I'm like, what? Man, I think I'm the sweetest person on earth. So, sometimes we just have to accept that we all have certain things that we need to change about ourselves. And once we're able to accept that, then that's when the change starts, right? Also, we have to accept that we are not perfect. Who is perfect then? Likha hai answer number 4. You can just... Yeah, only and only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is perfect. And this number 4 point, if you are able to write down on your cell phones, on your whatever, in your room, on your anything that is a reminder, I tell you, most of your issues will be solved. It is when we start making expectations of people, उनको सांचों में डाल के models में रखे, when they don't come up to our expectations is where we get disappointed. So keep reminding yourself, सिर्फ अल्लाह की ज़ात perfect है, सिर्फ अल्लाह की ज़ात perfect है. If you start thinking people are perfect and if you start imagining them in a certain way, this is the biggest issue. Our children, we want them to be a certain way. Our husbands, spouses, in-laws, parents, friends, teachers, you want them to be in a certain way which they are not, and they won't be, right? So accept that only and only Allah is perfect. We are all imperfect, and inshallah, all of Adam's, Hazrat Adam alayhi salam, ki sari aulad jo sab mistakes karengi, sab guna karengi, right? But the best are the ones that turn back, that the ones that repent. Do you know that Jannah and Jahannam are both made for sinners? But Jannah is for the ones that repent. So we don't have much time, inshallah. We will leave this here, and I want you to think about these points, and we will continue them. ये होगा कि in every class we'll have like 30 to 35 minutes of me constantly talking to you. But then after that, I will hand over the mic to you. And if you have any questions, my online and online, all of them together, then inshallah we will try and address most of them. Okay? And I would love for everyone to have some sort of, back and forth, because this, inshallah, when we start doing the different aspects of the diseases, then when you go back, then I want you to give me a lot of feedback on how you went and how we slipped and how we came back, inshallah. So this will be a big help for all of those who are listening to you. Okay, we are all here to learn, me, you, together. So, with this, I'm handing over the mic to you. First, anyone here has any question?
Can we take a picture of the slides?
We will be sharing the slides. We'll be sharing the slides, so you don't have to take any pictures. Anybody else? सवाल के अलावा ऐसे ही कुछ शेयर भी कर सकते हैं, but आज we didn't do any subject matter. So we have अगर आप सवाल ही पूछेंगे, then I'll just continue talking. So if you're okay with that. Any online students? We have any?
There are some who have their hands raised. That's right.
Can you put them on the speaker so everyone can hear?
Yeah, they are. You can ask them to unmute themselves.
Can you please the student who is being asked, please unmute yourself. Should I can't?
It's okay. She's unmuted.
Rahma, we can hear you. Okay, maybe you can ask somebody else or she can adjust.
Salam.
Alaikum assalam.
The third point, some pointers you shared with us. The third point is you are delusional. Why? What does? How will we take it as a conceptual? Like how is it going to be explainable?
Good question. That's going to be a surprise for you for the next class. We haven't done it today.
Okay.
So inshallah,
Okay,
because we're running short of time, so we'll be doing that in the next class. Point number 3. But Achai, I want you to think about this. When are we delusional? Anyone who gets the right answer will get a thumbs up from me. Next.
Anyone? There's
Anna? Sir?
Shamila has a question.
Am I very scary though? How come the on-site students are not asking me anything? Yes, we have some of it.
Just when you're talking about the purification, just a question that we be talking about zikr as well.
Zikr? Of course, inshallah zikr होता है जब भी हम अल्लाह सुब्हाना व ताला की हम कोई भी बात करेंगे. देखिए, this course is basically this entire study जो हम purification of the soul कर रहे हैं, ये हम कुरान और हदीस की ही लाइट में कर रहे हैं, राइट? ये पूरी स्टडी है. हमारे टीचर कौन थे? हुजूर सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम. और उन्होंने किन की प्योरिफिकेशन की? ऑल हिज सहाबा, right? So we are going to follow the ahadith and the way of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Sunnah way, and then backed by science. Because Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam knew more than the scientists today. So them together, we are going to be doing that. Okay? Does that answer your question? Yeah. Shanila?
Yes, I'm here.
We can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Did you have a question?
Really? No, I do not have any question.
Okay.
I want to know the question. The one who asked just now about the debate. What was the question?
I don't think I can hear you very well. Can you say that again, please? Okay.
Are you asking me something?
No, that's fine. I think that will be all. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. अल्लाह सुब्हानहू व तआला हमें कहने और सुनने से ज़्यादा अमल करने वाला बनाए इंशाअल्लाह. अस्सलामु अलैकुम व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू.